We're going to look at some hard news items as we begin this Thanksgiving week and review a couple of movies. I'm Randall Terry. This is Voice of Resistance. It is tragic that Border Patrolman Rogelio Martinez has been shot and killed in the line of duty. He and another man who at the time of this taping is unnamed and in serious, some reports say critical condition in a hospital. They were shot. They wandered into something in Colby County, Texas, close to the Mexican border, which is a very mountainous region. Only about 1% of the people who are picked up coming in illegally are picked up in that area. Well, the very fact that it's rough area would make it much more of a safe haven for criminals who are involved in drugs or in gun running. So something happened, and these border patrolmen walked into a massacre. One of them is dead, and the other one is in critical condition. And of course, President Trump is now saying that we've got to build a wall. It is the nature, unfortunately, it is the nature of American politics to, at this time in history, to seize something that is in the news and then to utilize it for politics, for principle, for policy. So when the gal in California was murdered, Kate's Law was introduced because he was an illegal immigrant. When the Sandy Hook shooting incident took place with all those children dying in school, the incident was seized upon by gun nuts who want to take away our right to defend ourselves. When the incident in Ferguson, Missouri happened, it was seized upon by racists, generally speaking Antifa and black racists who want to say that all white police are bad, and it was seized on, and the Justice Department jumped in. So we see this pattern, and it is just a part of it, that when an incident happens, it is utilized or demonized or exploited by people who have either a just or an unjust policy agenda, a principle agenda. And I think that you will be hearing people talk about the fact that had the wall been there, there's a very good chance that this man would not be dead. Once the wall is up, it is going to stop the vast majority, 98, 99% of illegal immigration. I mean, sure, there are still people who, if they want, can fly a plane over, right? A helicopter. Depends on how they man it as far as aerial surveillance. There will be people who attempt to dig a tunnel, not just under the wall, but under the Rio Grande, under the river itself. So it's safe to say that it's not going to stop 100% any more than a screen door is always 100% effective in what it's trying to do. So any more than the alarms that we put in our house are 100% effective for keeping criminals out. It's not going to be 100% successful. And by the way, I'm not comparing human beings by using the illustration of the screen door. I'm not comparing human beings to insects. I'm comparing the inability to stop everything that we would like to stop. Anyway, the renewed calls for the wall are going to come, and they should come. Heaven help us. God gave us a reprieve with President Trump, and that reprieve is under great fire. I want to tell you about one other bit of news. This is good news. Up in Michigan City, Indiana, a baby was placed, a newborn baby born about an hour earlier, was placed at the fire department there in a safe haven baby box. The safe haven baby box was designed by a pro-life activist, believe it or not. Her name is Monica Kelsey, and she was on a pro-life speaking tour in South Africa, and she learned about this. Now, my understanding is it originated in China, where a Christian man, is saving babies who who would otherwise be left to die because they're girls. And in China, with the one-child policy, many girls were being killed just because they were girls. So this is in the news now. And now there's discussions with other cities about having these baby boxes. In case you don't know what they are, they're usually attached to a fire department, and a mommy who does not want to keep her baby and yet is ashamed or embarrassed or afraid to go through the normal route takes the child and places it in this box. And there's a trigger in it that alerts the police and the fire department, and also the heat and the AC. It's because it's attached to the building, the child is not in danger of becoming overheated or over cold. And so the police heard the alarm go off, or rather the fire department, and they opened it up thinking maybe it was a prank, and they opened it up and there was this little girl staring up at them. And the firemen said they just couldn't believe it. In fact, 2 firemen, God bless them, took the baby to the hospital to make sure that she was okay, and they both said, we're family men, either one of us will adopt this baby girl. So because that's in the news, people are now talking about this. And you know what? Thank God this little baby girl is alive. And the woman who invented the box was also taken somewhere and left when she was a little girl. She's alive. She wasn't aborted. This is good news, and I hope that it affects a policy discussion for something really positive. I'm so happy that that baby was saved. Don't go away. I'll be right back. Today, many so-called Christian intellectuals believe that the God of evolution used billions of years of death and destruction to evolve the bodies of the first human beings. Then, they simply declare the theory of evolution as fact to justify their unproven scientific fallacies. By the grace of God, more and more Catholics are rejecting this modern-day mythology in favor of the traditional doctrine of creation, as recorded by the Bible and believed and taught by all the fathers and doctors of the church. To find out how sound theology and natural science confirm the sacred history of Genesis, visit the Colby Center for the Study of Creation, and be sure to check out our bookstore, which has titles like I Have Spoken to You from Heaven, A Catholic Defense of Creation in 6 Days, and A Catholic Assessment of Evolutionary Theory. That's the Colby Center for the Study of Creation. Former State Supreme Court Chief Justice Roy Moore, Judge Moore as we call him, he is still fighting. And as I've been watching this story, people have really closed ranks around him. There was a big rally at the end of last week. Flip Benham, the former director of Operation Save America, was there. Alan Keyes, former ambassador and former presidential candidate, a friend of mine, he was there. It got really ugly with the press. The press were told, if you want to come in, you can be here. You can ask policy questions. You cannot ask any more of these questions about these scandals, alleged scandals. And of course, the press did not abide by the rules, and after 2 questions, Judge Moore and his wife walked out. I think he's still going to win the election. That's my gut. Because the pushback that these stories are getting in Alabama is significant. People are not only rallying around Judge Moore, but are calling into credibility the sources. And I'm telling you, this type of stuff is so distasteful. It is so distasteful. And the arguments about this being 40 years old, clearly politically motivated. How could he have gone all of these years and none of this ever came out? How come the moms didn't go after him? In other words, there's a lot of unanswered questions. I just want to say this, that the sophistication of the false accusations about Trump are so, the sophistication is so mind-boggling to me. All right? In other words, think about this. They had multiple allegations against Trump about a hotel in Russia, unspeakable things, and then this dossier. Well, it turns out that the dossier was false, okay? But this was created to look like it was a smoking gun, all right? Somebody went through a great amount of time and expense, possibly on the payroll of the FBI. This might have been an Obama plant, but it was really sophisticated. And for Judge Moore to be taken out, it would require sophistication. If, and I'm not saying it's true, but if there was a plot to take him out, you could see the operatives, the never-Trumpers, the Democrats, whoever they are, maybe working together saying, look, we've got to restore the balance of power. It's almost like some dark scene out of a Star Wars movie. But that the Democrats and the Republican machinery hate Judge Moore. They hate him. The Democrats hate him because of his stance against child killing and homosexual marriage. And the Republicans hate him because he shows that they're hypocrites who pay lip service to the issues that matter to Christians, but they have no intent to really fight on those issues. So when the Republicans control Congress, does Planned Parenthood get defunded? No. Why? Because they're treacherous, they're duplicitous, they're hypocrites, they're liars, they're deceivers, they're cowards, okay? That's why. So Judge Moore, because he stood for the Ten Commandments and then was impeached because of it, because he stood for marriage and then was impeached because of it, he makes the Republicans look bad. He's somebody who will lay down his political career before he lays down his principles. He will lay down his life, I would bet, for the gospel and for the laws of God before he would betray the principles and the laws of Almighty God. So, Democrats hate him, Republican machine hates him, and I can see them together at some level of sophistication. I'm just this conjecture on my part, where they are happy to try and take him out. And then they sit back and they say, look, we can't have one person come forward. It's got to be multiple people. And man, what a firestorm has emerged. What a firestorm. Most of us, we're just going to have to sit back and watch what happens. But I have a feeling that Judge Moore is still going to win because the pushback is so significant and the amount of positive media that Judge Moore is getting in Alabama is extensive. And he's going to turn. He's going to go on the attack against these people. He already is on child killing and on homosexual marriage. And the homosexual movement hates Moore, hates him. And they want him out. And this actually helps Moore because he can define his campaign in terms of good and evil. And the hypocrisy of the media in this is inescapable. Inescapable. On Drudge, at the beginning of the week, there was this big story about the 4 Clinton accusers and how many more are there. And that Drudge and Breitbart covered those 4 who they came out under oath. Okay? Clinton admitted to a lot of this stuff. President Clinton did. The media doesn't cover it. So the hypocrisy, the duplicity, the double standard of the media is something that will also fuel the anger of voters in Alabama. And their attitude is darn the torpedoes straight ahead. I think Judge Moore is going to be elected. I'll let you know. I predicted Donald Trump's election way ahead of most other people. Even showed you the path. I'm not that sophisticated with Judge Moore. I'm just going on a hunch. We'll see. I'll be right back. I want to review a couple movies, and I want to show you a movie clip from our upcoming movie. Don't go away. Have Muslim terrorists hijacked the peaceful religion of Islam? Or is there more to the story? The answer lies in the life of one man, Muhammad, the founder of Islam. Muslim terrorists see themselves inside a 1,400-year-old story, a narrative that focuses on specific events in the life of Muhammad. We are going to look at Muhammad's life using their most sacred literature. We will look at Muhammad at the Battle of Badr. We'll see him deal with those who mock him. We'll see the times when he used deception. We'll witness Muhammad's anti-Semitism. And yes, we will discuss Muhammad and his teachings concerning sex, slavery, and jihad. Friend, if you want to understand Islamic terrorism, get this series today. Welcome back, friend. By way of correction, I incorrectly stated from memory Antifa for Ferguson, Missouri. That was actually Black Lives Matter, another racist group, and they are racist, make no bones about it. But let's talk about fun stuff. Let's talk about movies, because this is Thanksgiving week, and a lot of families are going to be going to the movies. My family has seen in the last week 2 movies, Thor, the Ragnarok one, and the Justice League. Thor was twice as good, and it's showing up in the box office sales. It was hysterical. I laughed so hard at different points. And I don't want to ruin the movie for you. All I can say is it's absolutely worth taking the kids to. The other movie, The Justice League, was good. Was nowhere near as good as Thor. It was good. The storyline was a little harder to follow. And as with a lot of DC movies, it moves slow and it's erratic, and they put a lot of time into character development. They wanted to show that all of these characters were important to the Justice League. One thing that really irked me is that they used the name of our Lord Jesus in vain. Why? Batman did. Why? Why do that? Why spit in the face of Christian families, of God himself? Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for he will not hold him guiltless who uses his name in vain. There's no other name given among men under heaven by which they must be saved but the name of Jesus. So I don't understand the arrogance, the flagrant, just arrogance, sinful arrogance that would possess them to do that. So that being made absolutely clear, it was with that scar on it. It was a good movie. It was nowhere near as good as Thor. If you're only going to see one or the other, absolutely go to Thor. Absolutely go to Thor. And I want to tip my hat to the folks over at Marvel who have figured it out. They're not putting a lot of salacious, hedonistic scenes in their movies, and they're not using the name of the Lord in vain. At least that's what I've been seeing. I've got to take a break. When I come back, we're going to show you a clip from the movie that we've been producing. We're movie producers here. We don't just do television, we do movies. And we're going to show you a clip from an upcoming movie for children, a time travel movie called Time Boys. Don't go away. What Would Mohammed Do? Islamic Terrorism Explained is the best movie series documentary ever produced on the life of Muhammad and Islam. How do I know? Because it's what critics are saying. John Moore, radio host and author, said, "I learned more from What Would Mohammed Do about Islam and Islamic terrorism than I've learned from everything I ever read and watched in my entire life." Best-selling author Dr. Bill Warner said, "What Would Mohammed Do is the best movie series, TV production on the life of Muhammad and Islamic terrorism that has ever been produced." Friends, this is what the experts are saying. No one has ever done what we've done. I encourage you to get 1, 2, 4 copies. Call 304-289-3700. That's 304-289-3700, or order it at the address or the website that you see on the screen. Friend, we have a series that will help you and those you love to have an impact on this country. It's called Insurrecta Nex. That's Latin for revolution against the killing of innocent people. This is the history, the philosophy, and the theology of social revolution in America. We look at the Stamp Act, the Boston Tea Party, the abolition of slavery, the abolition of child labor, women's voting rights, the civil rights movement. All of them have this in common: courage, sacrifice, dedication, and in-your-face tactics and rhetoric. That's one of the reasons that we've been losing the culture wars the last 40 years, is because the bad guys are using these tactics and we aren't. We will send you this 14-part TV series along with these manuals for students, a teacher's facilitator guide for only $40. Go to 304-289-3700, 304-289-3700. I am so excited to unveil on this program for the first time publicly a clip from our upcoming kids movie called Time Boys. It is a time travel movie set in 1908 and 2016. And the quick overview of the plot is that 4 boys from 1908 get hurled into the future, accidentally into 2016, and then their ability to get home is taken away, and they have to fit in 2016 until they can figure out how to get back to 1908. So while they're here in the future, they're stuck in a public school where there's bullies and there's hostility towards Christians and there's drama and there's girls and there's a fight scene. So what we decided to do was turn the fight scene into a dream sequence. So we see, and what we're about to see is the Time Boys telling the victims in Truesdale, Tennessee, that they don't have to be beat up all the time by the bullies, that they can fight back. Then it goes to a dream sequence in a hallway. So rather than have a big fight scene, we did it as a dream sequence. Watch it for yourself.
Don't any of you punks get any crazy ideas from these guys. They're not from here. They'll go home, and then it'll be just you and us.
That's true, Dirk, and I was just explaining to them how they don't have to take your crap with or without us.
Gonna turn and run. They'll learn to fight, and then they'll be free. The gig is up. The gig is up. It's high noon at the local saloon. It's gonna get rough. Chest, you can howl at the moon, but the gig is up. But I saw you blink. The gig is up. The gig is up. The gig is up. Yeah, the gig is up.
Well, it was a lot of fun, a lot of work. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback. If you want to learn more about this, by the way, we had over 100 kids, 100 homeschoolers. This thing was almost done completely by homeschoolers. Over 100 kids, over 50 adults in this project with high-end Hollywood-style gear and professionals filming and sound people, and it was a lot of work. And you can see there's some fun angles, some fun shots. So when will the movie be done? Hopefully next summer. It's a lot easier to film a movie than it is to edit one. That's what I found out. So if you want to learn more, if you want to see more, and if you want to help us, go to GoFundMe.com/TimeBoys. GoFundMe.com/TimeBoys. You can watch this clip there. We've put the clip up. We've unveiled it here, and now the clip is up on the GoFundMe site because we need to raise money to finish this thing. We broke the bank. That's why I keep changing my hairdo. It's a movie. It's just a movie. Go to GoFundMe.com/TimeBoys. Have a great week.